when animals attack. A very specific topic, and I of course talk about aggressive behaving animals. Now I think we're all into a position where we've seen this before. If that is with the animals you take care of or elsewhere, we've seen animals showing aggressive behavior. Now the question is actually, where does this come from? Now when we talk about our training sessions, there's a couple reasons why these things are happening in your sessions. Now let's talk about this one first. For example, this beautiful giraffe. We're trying to teach this animal to give its foot. The hard part is that I've actually have not asked previously what his experience is. So basically, we pushed this session right from the get-go way too far. And what happened? Guess what? The animal actually kicked against the fence. Not something we would like to see, but this is an aggressive behavior, an aggressive outtake, potentially towards us. That's essentially what is happening. So how do we fix this? Now, if you look at the following video, you can see that we're asking the giraffe to move away. We place the target already into a position where the animal is able to go towards the target and already see which environment is presented to him. Instead of the target is presented while the animal is already there. This was a big difference and the outcome was fantastic. Now this is just one way of looking at it, but there's more. I've also seen various sessions where we're actually not very clear to our animals. The team itself creates a communication system towards their animals. And now I'm talking about the keep on going signal, the end of session signal, for example, but as well the bridge. What does the bridge exactly mean? Well, in my eyes, the bridge means the terminal bridge, which helps the animal to understand the criteria is reached. I can go back to default behavior. Now, if this communication system in general is misunderstood by the animal due to the fact the team is not on one page, you can have aggressive behavior from the animal. The animal is frustrated. That's most of the time the case. And we don't want to see that. So that's another reason why something like this is happening. But then there's one more, and that is when trainers are asking the behavior too often after one another. So I'm asking the animal one specific behavior, the animal fails to perform this behavior, and the trainer is going to ask again without any changes in its environment. The animal fails again, and the trainer is trying to do the exact same thing. No changes in the environment, and again and again. Eventually the animal reaches a breaking point and an aggressive behavior can show up. At last, I want to talk about the fact that the animal is already in a specific state. Now what you see very often is that we want to train specific behaviors, and animal training should be fun. And of course we're trying to train for the future, so every session that you're doing should help the next session in the future. Now, but have you thought about the fact that when an animal has a discussion with its counterpart, there's aggressive behavior between two individuals, that when you start your session right after that this happens, the animal brings this emotion and this specific energy with them into your training session, especially if one of these two individuals that have been fighting before is the lowest in social hierarchy. It cannot throw out this energy to neither of the animals or any other animal in its group. You will be next, and this is what I discovered with the orcas. One of the golden rules was, if the animals have a discussion together, there's aggressive behavior, you do not step close to the animal because you will be next. And this is very often the reason why your training session is escalating to aggressive behavior, because we haven't been observing what has happened previous to you starting your session. So here are a couple reasons why aggressive behavior can happen within your session, but most importantly, what we want to do is make sure that we end our session on a high note. We don't want to use punishment for aggressive behavior. We want to work through it. We want to teach our animals it's okay the way you feel. Because at the end of the day, aggressive behavior is a completely natural thing to happen. Same for this beautiful brown bear in Norway, where I was training this brown bear and I pushed it a little bit too far, and you see it right away, I get a smack on my hand. Now luckily it was just a smack, didn't grab my jacket, because otherwise this situation would have ended up way differently. But the eventual outcome was we worked on different training sessions, we shaped it up a little bit, all to be sure that our animal was successful again. So as once a target, reach. Because that's the eventual goal. And by doing this is motivation raises again by the interaction with me and my animal. But at the same time, what we're doing too is we think more about, hey, why did the animal do this? What have I done that I placed that animal into this situation for that animal to show me aggressive behavior? We changed it all, made smaller approximations, and eventually the animal would have more success and is more willing to try new things instead of building up this frustration due to my requests to this animal to then have an aggressive outtake. We don't want to have this. Now those are the reasons why animals could be the way they are within your training session. The goal is not to have any aggressive behavior, but when it happens, we do have to understand where it comes from. I hope this video has helped you understanding aggressive behavior within your training. If it did, give us a thumbs up and of course subscribe to our channel for more videos in the future. Thank you very much and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.